All eyes will be on David Fifita, though it is D-Day, only hours away from having to make a decision and tell the Gold Coast Titans whether he is staying or going. Now, we've spoken about this over the past couple of shows on NRL 360. Do we know any more about where he will land?
Yeah, it's speaking to a lot of people today, Braith. It seems as though he's certainly going to leave the Gold Coast Titans. I think the Panthers still hold the whip hand at this point in time. His agent, David Fifita's agent, has flown up to the Gold Coast today. They're literally having a meeting right now as we speak, and then we believe we're finally informed with the decision tomorrow.
Can one of you two explain to me the deadline and give the viewers, fans, an idea of what's actually happening there?
Well, it's the start of round 10. That was the clause inserted into the contract, and obviously the start is kick-off tomorrow night. So that's why that deadline, the countdown, as we so to speak, has gone on. But I'm with Hoops here. Long odds to be the Gold Coast Titans next year. It's down to the Panthers and the Roosters. And you're speaking to people in and around Clubland today. You know, the Panthers are like, oh, he's probably going to the Roosters. The Roosters are like, oh, he's probably going to Penrith.
Well, they're throwing off, are they?
They're throwing off a little bit, and they're trying to play it down.
I think everybody's resigned to the fact that he will be leaving the Gold Coast. But for me, what I want to know is, what's going to be the deciding factor in where the destination of David Fifita? Like, what's he looking for? Obviously, he's going with a goal in mind to win a premiership. Both clubs could make very strong cases, but what's going to get it over the line? Yeah,
it's a good question, Jimmy. I think where Penrith have done a really strong sell is they got the best player in the game in Nathan Cleary. He has personally spoken to David Fifita. He has told him how much he would love to have a wrecking ball like him into the Penrith system and the opportunity to be creating space for him and giving him the chance to score tries. So I think that's why the Panthers have their noses in front at the negotiating table. The Roosters are also an extremely powerful club, and we know their track record when it comes to landing major signatures. I think they got a little bit blindsided by Penrith on this. The Roosters actually started talking to David Fifita prior to the Panthers entering the arm wrestle. The Roosters were in first, and they thought they were flying under the radar, and then the Panthers have blown them out of the water at the last minute by coming in on Sunday.
That phone call with Nathan Cleary would be a huge factor in this. When you think of David Fifita and the impact of Kieran Foran up on the Gold Coast and how that opened up more opportunities for him. He became that crash bang wallop. There was tries he scored one year. He was there. He just tapped the ball and he'd just run and go and score. And it was kind of like you were playing Journaloma rugby back in 1996 on the PlayStation. It was incredible from him. Yeah. But now with Foran coming into the team, opens up so many opportunities. This is horrible news for the rest of the competition.
It is. But we spoke about it last night about possibly David not fitting in at Penrith, and I understood the reasons that you said and Dave Riccio said about the system and being an edge forward instead of a middle forward and the way that he plays. But Nathan Cleary can really unlock David Fifita. Maybe he needs to change his style a little bit, but as a half, knowing and playing back in the day with the likes of Bobcat Ryan, you do form combinations with these guys. And if you've got the best halfback in the competition and a guy who is probably touted to be the best forward in the competition coming there, it could really be a deadly, deadly combination.
It will be a deadly combination, I think. We've seen, as Jimmy said, glimpses of his combination with Kieran Foran, who's struggled to get his body on the park and they struggle for consistency. Imagine him outside Nathan Cleary. It will go down as one of the best halves, back rower combinations we've seen in a long time. And, talking about fits, Penrith, I think there'll be a bit of prestige for David Fifita as well to be the player that Penrith have splurged on because they haven't done it. They haven't gone outside their circle too often. They've added elements to their squad, but they haven't gone and landed a marquee signing. I think this would be huge for him.
I'm with you, Braith, in that this whole theory about the ripple effect and that, no, Penrith's a development club. No, they can't now all of a sudden go into the market. Well, they haven't been into the market since recruiting James Tarmo in 2017 and Jimmy Maloney in 2018. So it's 6 seasons since Penrith have actually gone, you know what, they haven't had the money because they've had to upgrade all these other players. But you put David Fifita into that side and it's frightening because they're a good chance of winning 4 premierships in a row this year and it keeps them right up there at the elite echelon again next season.
Well, what makes Penrith so great is their ability to adapt to players leaving. Now, Jerome Luai is going to leave, so Penrith's style is going to have to change. So there is no obvious replacement. They've not gone into the market to bring in a person that can replace Jerome Luai. That will likely come from within. Maybe Nathan's role will then change, and that attack, as it adapts, it will be more focused on Nathan Cleary being more on ball and using David Fifita instead of a Luai with that creativity.
And what we do know is Nathan's very versatile, so I think he'll do a fair job of that. Okay, well, Titans captain Kieran Foran says the club won't be distracted by Fifita's contract circus.
What do you make of the big situation with Dave at the moment?
I hope he stays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he given you guys any indication what he's doing?
No indication yet, mate. He's obviously working through that process at the moment with his family, and he's been a big part of this club for a long time. And I guess his career speaks for itself. He's been such a damaging player for such a long time. It's no wonder he's in demand. We'd love him to stay, but he's got to work through, this clause and this process.
Well, let's be honest, the Titans aren't exactly flying at the moment, but this would be a distraction, wouldn't it?
And it'll be I don't know so much of a distraction, but it will be a blow for the Titans. And with what Des is trying to build there and the changing of the guard over the last couple of years, and they've gone through this the last couple of years with David Fifta as well, and they've managed to keep him. But to watch him walk out the door to one of the premiership heavyweights, whether it be Penrith or the Roosters, it's obviously dire times for the Titans.
Well, now you mention it, it is a bit of a slap in the face of Des, isn't it? Like he's just come to the club. He's supposedly one of the biggest, most successful, a powerhouse coach. You could say very experienced and hasn't had success, certainly not instant success at the club. And then their best player leaves.
I think where the distraction comes is Des has his resources. So he'd want to be coaching that team, implementing tactics and strategy. Now, if Fifita walks out the door, Des has to go and convince Tino Fasuamaleaui that this is the place to be. And that is the immediate distraction. So he has to focus on how he convinces Tino to stay and be involved in this team. Don't worry, Tino, we're going to go and make recruits, and we're going to no stone unturned sort of stuff. That's where the distraction comes instead of focusing on the grass.